What's up, everybody? How are you doing? So excited to see all of you here for another edition of Adobe Live Education Edition. I'm your host, Claudio Zavala Jr., Education Evangelist at Adobe, and I am super pumped today because I get to share with you all our session today about designing and then printing it and getting out to like some 3D stuff. But someone that actually many years ago when I met and actually got me into 3D printing and inspired me. So I'm going to introduce to all of you our one of our newest members of our Adobe Creative Educator Innovator cohort just this year, freshly minted, Jesus Huerta.
Thank you, Claudio. That was too nice. That was too nice. Yeah, just excited to be here. We go way back now,
Yeah.
and just love sharing how to make stuff, but more anything, how we can get students to make this stuff and why it's beneficial to them. So,
Jesus, tell us a little bit of where you're from, a little background.
I've been teaching 11 years. This is my third year as a full-time educational technology coach. Before that, it was mainly fifth grade. I did eighth grade math the first year, and then I followed my group into sixth grade during COVID. And then I stayed there for another year and then came over to this role. I'm from El Centro, California, Imperial Valley, so it's really hot. We were talking weather earlier.
Yeah.
And just my classroom when I had it was basically its own makerspace. It wasn't a special classroom. Just saying that for anybody that's listening, you're like, you know what? I would love to have some stuff in my classroom. I had tons of stuff. I had sublimation, laser cutting, 3D printing. I mean, I was lucky to have a great leader, my principals at the time that let me do this stuff. But if you walked into my class, you would have thought, oh, this is like a special class or a gate class, like gifted. No, it's just I always felt that kids should see everything that's out there, regardless of where they are at socioeconomically or academically. I think
Yeah.
something awesome like that will spark creativity in them and hopefully make them want to study more.
Yeah, and Jesus, I'm just gonna let everyone out there know that like I've actually seen Jesus in action. It's maybe about 3 years ago. So we were at an event and we were co-leading, and actually Jesus was doing a ton of it, and it was fantastic. And the rapport you have with educators is just like you can just feel it, and it's and that's I mean that's why I'm so glad you're part of our ACE Innovator community, and so. Everyone, in today's session, we're going to be turning ideas that we have, and Jesus is going to share some as um, it's like how do we take ideas and turn them into something actually that we can hold in our hands. And I'm going to hold off before I actually well actually I'm just going to show a few things. I won't talk about them just yet, but like things that you ideas that you have and you could actually put them in your hands like I have right now. But more context on this will come in just a little bit for those of you watching. And we're going to walk through how you can design in Adobe Express, create like like stickers, like so 2D models, like with stickers, and then how we could also take some images and maybe scan them or photograph them and create 3D models and then bring those 3D models using different tools to get them printed into either printing stickers like our traditional stickers or printing into 3D like I just showed you right here. So we're going to be doing that. And so Jesus, you were talking about this right now a little while ago. It's like getting this into the hands of your students and giving them some opportunities. So like really like why do you think it's important for students to have this like getting these ideas and even diving into something like this? You shared with me a story a while back, and I'm hoping you share it again, but it's like students thinking of something that they want to do in the future and like, oh, you're kind of diving into it already, but like why is this important? Why should they, what does this skill help students
I
and
think
even
for me
teachers?
myself, it kind of relates to me as a student when I was a child. I loved projects. I loved doing things and making things. Not that I, didn't like traditional test taking or whatever, but I mean, this is how one way I would put it. If I ask you, where are your notes on doing something? For example, you do photography, but let's talk
Mhm.
about like car maintenance and oil change. If you've done it once, you know the steps. And so for me, if we can get them to do something that they're making something, whether it's digital or physical, they're going to remember the act. They're not going to need notes, but if we can attach academic standards to it, it sticks more. And there's research that supports it. And so, when kids make a keychain like this, This is not painted. This is two different plastics. And we'll talk about it a little bit before we end the session. The impact that it has. And this is for somebody that they respect. So we're sneaking in SEL, writing standards. Uh, I've had teachers, tons of them tell me this kid never writes more than two sentences. Now they got three paragraphs and they want to write more. And I think that hook, when we talk about a hook, yeah, we can get them to, play something like a gamified website, yeah, like Kahoot, but then it hits its limit because again, they're just really consuming. But here it's like, hey, what do you want to make? Well, what do you want me to make? I don't know. You tell me. It's your project.
Mhm.
Your decisions go into this. Do you want that font? Do you want it a certain size? They can actually write by hand and it'll take that sketch or writing and turn it into a little model in Tinkercad. And so they have a lot of options. So when you have students that have always been told also like, here, do this, I'll stamp it, give it back to you. When it's like, here, do what you want, they might not even have that level of freedom at home. And so I think it blows their mind and it really allows them to expand that mind.
That's awesome. And I think one of the things you said is that, as you were sharing, is giving students that agency to you know be able to design something, and also like the problem solving, the critical thinking, because you talk about like that little thing with the name Jasmine there. It's like, why did I go with purple? Why did I choose this font? So all those things go into that, the creative skills and the problem solving skills, which are skills that many of our students will need for, these future years coming, this next generation of like workforce that's coming along. And so I love that you talked about the building the digital literacy, but also even just literacy as well. And then giving them those hands-on, that the tactile, something like
Yeah.
something tangible to hold on to. It's like there's something said to be like to be able to like touch something as opposed to just seeing it. But like this is why I'm excited, because you're like we're taking these ideas, what your students create, what you create, teachers, whatever you're creating out there, taking them from the screen, and I mean, I think many folks either rent or buy a house, or even like if you buy a car, or even a bicycle, but all those things always they started in someone's mind,
Yeah.
someone's imagination, someone's, it's like, I think I'm going to build this house, and it's going to have an island this large and this dimension. The ceilings are going to be this high. They all start with a schematic, and then it's passed on to the next crew. Then they concrete, and then they're building the walls. And then before you know it, you're sitting in there watching a show about creators. So it's like a whole cycle there. So,
And that's the
and
thing,
then
like this, if you've never seen 3D printing, guys, go watch a video real quick. When you have a chance, don't leave it. But it basically produces this from nothing. And I'm going to show you some other materials in a second. So when it gets sent to the printer has nothing at the bottom and then this appears. And the
yes,
kids see it. And that's why I love teachers having them in the classroom, visiting the makerspace if they have one available at their site, because the kids see it. And then when they take it off there, they're like holding it. Some kids are like, I can't believe the thing that I saw on the screen is in my hands. I made this. I think that right there is one of the biggest impacts because there's so many tools out there that you can create with, and they're getting faster and less expensive. Not cheap, they're just getting less expensive.
yeah.
Really, some of these are less expensive. Some of these 3D printers that we put in teachers' hands, they're less expensive than a Switch. And we actually have a parent meeting coming up because now parents are like, hey, what alternatives can I put in my kid's hand that are tech related, but will teach them some skills that maybe they can turn into a
Wow.
career?
Wow, that's powerful. And it's giving the um entry point to doing this is a lot, it's making it more available for the larger population, where it was just maybe a select group that had access to these things. So, all right, I love
Another one.
that.
I wanted to show another couple.
So all right, so let's talk about what are we gonna build today. So as soon as I'm excited because for those watching, we meet up before and talk about like the things that we want to work on. And so I'm gonna just tease this again, but I'll talk a little bit about about this, Jesus, and then like, so like we can start building with the 2D, like start with the stickers or something here. But um so this Jesus, here, so there's two things. So this is I'm trying to put it in the light so you can all see it. Let's see if I can. There we go. Unfortunately, like it's pieces of it broke off. But Jesus created this and sent this to me. So this is a 3D printed version of myself, and so I'm going to see if I can show on my screen here. So let's try to bring this up here. So I can, so everyone can see where this came from. Because again, this wasn't just printed from just like thin air. So let's see here. Let's pull up my, so I'm going to show you where this actual idea came from. So here we go. Let's go and take a look at so I got some of my projects here. Oh no, lost my camera. All right, hold on. Let's do this here. Folks, we'll fix something really quick right here. We may have to do this right here. How about now, Jacob? Is that okay?
See you now. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm talking to the producer behind the scenes. All right, all right, everyone. So I've got these projects here. These are all like different images. And so I'm in Firefly right now. And going back to this one right here. So here we go. We've got it again here. So this is a 3D version. So this actually was the inspiration to this right here. So that's let's see right there. So I used Firefly and I took an image of myself and made it into a claymation style version of myself and then made it into videos. And then Jesus, like I forgot where was it TCA? I think it was no, it might have been before that.
TCEA. Yeah.
Was it this? Okay. And so he said like had a surprise for me and had no idea. So he made this from that 3D claymation style that I generated using Firefly, which was from a picture. So we went 2D to like a 2D, 3D kind of claymation style to an actual something that I'm holding in my hands right here. So
And I
um
think the biggest thing here, Claudio, for me is asking, the audience or anybody who's watching this in the future, like, what can I do with an image? See, all I did was I took a screenshot and I made that model of you. And so, like right now we're sharing my screen. Um, I have this right here. I just looked up some elements on Adobe Express and I
so
said,
want to share your screen? Okay.
is
Share
it,
your
I
screen.
think it's shared it right now, right?
There you go. You
Perfect.
got it.
Um, so I just grabbed these stars, took a screenshot. Oh no, I downloaded it, but you can take a screenshot. And that's what I did with I just grabbed that image of you. I made sure to try to insert because it's really hard to pause it on your phone, like that video on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like went up and down, and then I was like, let me be ready. Okay, boom, let me take that screenshot at the right time. But just an example, these stars. I take them, I can convert them, and then I can put them into this program called Tinkercad. And in here, I can go ahead and manipulate it how I want, and I can add other shapes. Hopefully, right now it'll show up. But what I can do is eventually do this. So that image you guys are seeing on your screen, there's my stars. I only grabbed a couple of the stars that I wanted. So the question was, what can I do with an image? If we show these kids, hey, go to this, website, drop it in there. Now you have a file type that is super versatile called an SVG, stereolithic vector graphic. I don't know how I got it right the first time. I always
Yeah, 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 good job.
um so you might say, okay, well, those are basic shapes. It just works, right? So
Yeah.
here's my keychain so you can see it in 3D. Um
So you took that from Express.
Put it into an SVG converter that I found online. There's tons of them. Um, and then dropped it in here as its own shape.
Okay.
I grabbed a cylinder, flattened it out. I grabbed this one that's called tube, and then just put it together. Now, when I put it in the software, I do have to do a couple steps to have that two-color print come out. But this is just, some stars. So what about something that's a little more advanced? So here's my guy that I generated. Um,
All
I don't know
right. So
why.
you did that in Express.
Yeah, I
Okay.
went ahead and gave it a prompt saying, you know what, want a dragon wearing a hoodie with a Letterman jacket over it. I don't know why he's missing a shoe. I just left it like that. I'm like, okay, he's cool. He's got his own style.
Yeah.
with what I usually have with me, coffee. Um, so I just grab that. And as an image file, I have a lot of options. And if I convert it, I get even more options. So let's start with the one that you mentioned earlier, Claudio. So guys, let's say you're like, you know what? Hmm, I just want to play with the image by itself. This is the Lien sticker maker. With this, I can take that image, remove the background, and now I have a sticker.
So you just export that as just a PNG or JPEG or
Any image file type. The app that I have, there's a program on the PC and Windows, but I feel like on iOS and on like portable devices, it works better. And since we weren't going to screen share, it's a free app through the printer. You download it and very
you
easy
just
to use software. And then you have your sticker that you can just. Oh, one of our coworkers here in the office, because we share, right here with our classified staff, like a lot of the tools, we teach them how to use it too. She spilled water on it by accident. It's waterproof because it
okay.
laminates it at the end. And one of the cool things that this is where we can get kids interested in, sneaking and learning. There you go, like that.
Nice.
The cool thing is this right here, as it's printing in yellow, cyan, and I can't remember the other color.
Magenta.
Magenta, there you go.
Yeah.
It actually, as it's pulling back, you see the yellow, and then it pushes in and pushes back out. And so the kids are seeing the whole process, even when it's laminating. And then up front, this is one of the coolest features. It has a blade like a cricket. So it cuts the stickers for you in the shape you're asking for. And that's with one image that I got for free that I made on my own. So imagine the kids do that. Imagine, they're like, oh, I'm running for ASB. Okay, here, make yourself a sheet of stickers. It could be that.
So process wise, either you in this case you used you used the generate image in Adobe Express and you just give it the prompt, export it as a PNG, and then dropped it into that app, whatever for your phone to connect it to your printer to print
Yeah.
directly print, and it die cuts it as well.
It die cuts it and everything. And the cool thing is, I mean, I removed the background here. Um, both of them have a background remover. Now, if I don't remove the background, it'll just put a square. But if I want the shape of it like this, I just remove the background. And it even has that white outline like most stickers that you see,
Yeah,
which is very cool. Super not expensive. It's like 220 bucks. Extra paper, comes with tons of it, comes with a little cartridge.
cool.
It'll warn you when it runs out of paper, so
I'm
you're
sure.
not going to waste the ink or paper. And
I'm,
we try to get some effective items like that for our teachers, just for ease of use, but also something that can last like a workhorse type of machine. And this is one of them.
So, I'm sure that I'm looking at the chat, but I also want to really quick to give a shout out to those in the chat for joining. I see, I'm looking like really close on my phone here. That's Mr. Nance Timothy. He's joining us from Toronto. They're really loving the 3D print. They like the 3D print of me, and then I see, I'm trying to see folks. I'm just in my screen is so small, like my glass. I'm getting old, folks. Everyone here trying to read. Okay, so you think we can walk through? Like, are you able to print like right now, or is it you
Yeah.
don't have it set up? So,
I can actually send it from my iPad right now, and I can put my iPad up to the screen if you want. That's not a problem.
well, so we don't have to show screen, but let's design something in Express, and then we'll like send it off, and it's like this to see it happen. Like that would be great. So okay, so
Oh,
Jesus, you got your screen. Um, oh, let's see.
so let me just go ahead and generate something. Media. So I'm just gonna generate from here. Let me generate image, say square, and I'll say a penguin wearing shades, riding a skateboard in the summer. There we go.
So while it's generating, I know we're using the generate image, but this you're let's say you mentioned the student running for like a student body, and they create stickers like vote for me if they're using text because you can use this with you can not just images but like if you create like a text like vote for Pedro vote for Pedro
Yeah.
you can it'll do the same thing as well as like an image. So all right, so
Oh yeah.
we've got Mr. Penguin here set up.
Actually, one of the cool things is so let's say if you guys can see me on the screen, on my screen, um, if I get two images and I get them close enough to each other, it creates a new like border around them.
Okay.
So if I have two images and I'm in a rush and I don't want to like Photoshop them together, I can actually just drop them into like together near each other and it'll create a new border outline. So it looks like one sticker, like one image.
Okay.
Just a quick tip. So right here, I'm just going to go ahead and click remove background because I really just want my penguin. And whoa, I forgot to hit that I approve of that. There we go. So I'm just going to download this guy right now.
So Jesus, I'm sure, and then this is a question that I maybe might come up a little bit later. So does it, as far as resolution for the sticker printer that you're using? So I noticed when we went in and started from scratch, you just picked, I think you just picked the square, um, starting off from the square and then just added a square image. As far as resolution wise, should we create a project, like I'm going to start with a project that's 24 inches by 24 inches just because I want it
I
to
mean,
be
you
sharp,
can
or
definitely
does it matter?
scale it down. So I mean, here's this guy, this size. But let me grab the little sheet that I made. I'm gonna get in as close as I can, where you
Yeah.
guys can still focus. The quality is there. So I mean, I would say go as high quality as you can, because let's say, because when you make your stickers, it keeps it like as a bank, because it asks you to sign up for a free account. So say in
Okay.
the future, well, actually, I did it right now. First, I made a big one. And I was like, you know what? I want to make some that I can just pass out very quickly, have in my shirt pocket, and go, hey, kids, here you go. Here's some stickers.
That's cool.
So the higher the quality, the better, because if you have an idea to scale it down in size, small, guess what? You look, there's no resolution lost.
Yeah.
So I guess let me kind of slow down for a second. So the flow for me would be come up with an idea, generate the image, isolate it, get it by itself, download it. For me right now, I'm gonna send this one to my iPad.
So Jesus gonna be doing that part off screen, so we're not sharing on uh the iPad, which is okay, Jesus. No worries. I'm just letting people know, like it's like, oh, what's going on? And so is just gonna take this image and gonna print it out. So I think what we'll do later too, because if it comes up, because I know we did this before, but I definitely want to get myself one of these printers, and I'll post about it later so people watch on social media later on. I was like, hey, if you're interested in this printer, here it is. So keep look on socials a little bit later, and I'll share the actual the printer. So if you're interested, we'll do that later. Okay, so this is
So,
your take. Go ahead.
so I already have it on my app right here. And actually, let me pop this off the keyboard just to make it a little easier. So here's the app. Very easy. I'm just gonna go ahead and make a new canvas. I'm gonna hit new, and then I just upload it. And I just grab it from my photo library. He's right here. It says
Okay,
remove
so
background for free.
there's so even though you already have the background removed, you still need to do it again in this app just to
I would recommend it because
okay.
it'll recognize the white. And so there he is. And so I can, let me see if I can hold it a little bit a better angle. I can expand the size, make it smaller. So I'll make it nice and big as I can get it. And it'll warn you like if you're out of bounds and all that. So there it is. I'm gonna hit make. And then right now you're gonna see a little preview. Hopefully you guys can see. Let me get as close as I can. I don't know if you guys can see that
Okay, I
blue
can see
out.
the outline. Yeah.
So
So
you get
that's
that
wow.
like tracing around the actual image, or the object actually, when you remove the background. Otherwise, it
Okay.
just does a square around what it recognizes. And
Very
I just
cool.
say cut down here. I hit cut,
So
and
it's
there you
just
go.
gonna do that. It's gonna do that for you.
And right now
So
this thing will start running. It's
so
actually
quick, while it's printing, his question about the sticker is because I know I saw you put that the dragon one onto your water bottle. Um, is the backing cut out too, or is it like I'm trying to think of the question. So like I have a sticker right
so
here.
Just like
and
a
it's
traditional sticker. Look, I'm gonna take this one off. Look, if I bend it a little bit, there's the corner.
oh, so you can just
See?
peel off. So like little peels. So it
Yeah,
doesn't actually do a die cut of the entire sticker, or
it
can it?
does. So, like right here, if I remove one, so you guys can see how it looks. Watch, let me take one off real quick. So it does that.
Okay. But as far as like, it's not like independent little stickers that you can just pass out. That's what I was curious
No,
of.
I would have to cut each one by hand if I want to have
Just
like
like
individual.
little squares or
Yeah,
something like that. Okay,
yeah,
cool, cool. But it basically does a cutout for you, which is, I
yeah.
think it's like, someone on social on who's watching is like this, they think this is a pretty cool idea, and um I think it's great also because like you can make your own custom sticker. So think of think of someone like a student in, going running for ASB, so vote for me, treasurer, president. Let's say, Jesus, what are some other ways that maybe like you've used or have students done stickers, and how would they use it like in the
Uh,
class? Like,
we asked them to make like we've done. This is our first time having it here, but the ideas that I've had so far, and just talking to teachers, Mother's Day, get the kids to write about mom. Dad, we forget about dad because it's in the summer. I always made sure to do a project for dads. Um, you know, I want you to create a bunch of little images, and I'm going to give you those images each week, and tell me how you're feeling today by putting that sticker on your desk. Easy check-in for SEL. They don't have to speak. It's there, and they get to be creative about it. And guess what? Guess how I can sneak in some more writing? Hey, remember that project? What'd you think about it? What was hard? What was easy? And then what would you want to learn about next? I got you. I got 4 paragraphs right there, like
oh,
that.
very good. That's amazing. So it ended with something fun like a sticker as the end product, but as far as like the whole journey getting to there, there's some, like I said, there's a critical thinking, there's a design aspect, getting the ideas from, in this case we're using the generate image, but I guess like I said, you can create text stickers. um
Yeah.
I mean, I want to say too, maybe like depending on those watching, like depending on the grade level, you can maybe even get into some of those entrepreneur type classes where students maybe can be creating, like some of the maybe the CTE classes, that are marketing. It's like, hey, I'm going to work with a teacher and create the brand for the teacher. So I can create, like, start with the concept, illustrating a brand, bringing it to Express, taking that sketch brand and digitizing it, make it a digital version, and then taking that, generating an image in Express, and then downloading that, and then taking it off and then printing it, which was like, okay, dude, wow.
And
So
then
we have, if you, yeah, look at that.
it just peels off really easily. Oh, there it is. Snooze
Okay, so
that.
now okay, this is, so we took from Express, generate the image, export it and drop it into the app that you use with the printer, and now we got
Mhm.
the printer there, which is amazing. This is a question for me, like, are these okay to put on cars?
I don't know how well they would last outside in the weather. One
Because
of
the Texas
our
is super hot, so it's like,
Yeah. I have decals that I've done with well, it depends on, I mean, you're in the same weather as me. Where I live is Imperial Valley, so we get 110 in the summers. I have some decals that are hanging out for dear life right now, and those I made with like the tough cricket vinyl.
uh-huh,
But
okay,
they're already starting to crack, so I'm thinking probably by next summer I'll have to. But I
okay,
mean, best way to do it is what I tell kids, just try it and see what
yeah.
happens. It's funny because one of my coworkers, she put a sticker and left it in a glass of water, and then like an hour later, we're just looking at it and nothing bled through because it
So
laminates.
she put it inside water.
Like left it in there. She was check this out.
Oh,
She was
wow,
so amazed with it. Yeah.
that's
And I
amazing.
think the whole process of seeing the things get made, like I can watch this make it right now in real time. If you have access to a laser cutter, which I'll talk about some options with laser cutting right now in a second, um, they're so fast now and made for like at home hobbyists or the classroom that you can have them somewhere where a kid can go and watch it safely. A lot of them have these safety features that they're not going to be dangerous in your classroom. Not anymore.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's
20, 15 years ago.
yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right, so it's just we talked, we did some 2D, like going with the stickers. And so I want to dive into like going into some of the 3D, like, you know, taking a flat image, maybe a sketch, converting,
Mhm.
taking it to something like either Express or Firefly, making a digital version of it, and then using some tools to create a 3D mesh of it, which we like some of the Adobe tools, I believe, like Substance, um, has the ability to create like meshes. And just depending on the type of device you use, you're able to use Substance, but you can create it and then export it to those files. But I'm going to start right here, and I want to share this to kind of set the tone for the 3D printing here. So, if I can share this, I'm sharing my screen here. So
Oh.
this right here is an image. So last year we had a campaign for our national conference, ISTE conference, which is in last year was in San Antonio, and so we had a theme, kind of like a cowboy theme. I do not wear cowboy hats. It's something that I do not do. You always see me with a ball cap. And this was an actual image that I generated, and then I took it and used the Firefly within Express, and basically created a animated version of this horse. So which again was really neat. Again, starting with an idea, making a 2D version,
Starting
animating
with an
it.
image.
Yeah, starting with the image, animating it. And this is something that I use and created a promotion to share on social media. Like, hey, and actually people took a template and then made their own version of this, and I just animated it. And then so we're in April. Last month we were in Palm Springs for a conference there, and Jesus had another
Oh,
surprise. I think that's where you gave it to me, right? Yeah.
yeah.
And so if you're watching, okay, so take a look at that screen of the horse, and then here is the 3D version of Cowboy Claudio right there. So he took what I designed and made this little 3D printed version, like 3D printed. It's kind of like a pink. I was finally able to take all the little pieces off the supports that you created for it. But talk us through, and then like you can share some other projects. But talk us how did you take the video that I made of the image, and then like taking it from Express, taking it from the image you captured, and then making this.
So I think one of the things that we can get kids to understand also is how do I get a good image? Like what do I want? And we want that isolation. Like I made sure to, and I took a few screenshots before I caught the frame that I wanted. And we can even teach kids like if you drop it in a video editing software, you can go frame by frame and find that perfect one and then find a way to capture that image. I really wanted to isolate you by yourself. And actually, I did that with my little buddy here. So I just downloaded this. And this is a website called meshy.ai. Here's that image. And here he is. Full 3D model. Because you saw earlier what I did with the stars. I'm going to jump back over to my other window. Um, I took this and turned it almost, I don't know if I'm using the right word, almost like when you have a coin that's embossed. And here he is again. I'm going to show you another project with that converted file, the SVG. I did the same thing. It looks okay. I think the star one looks better. But what I did with it with a couple other tools, I'll show you right now in a second, I think will really show you like why it's such a versatile file type and why just starting with an image. So from here, I downloaded it as an STL. And then I just dropped it in my printer. Where's it at? Here it is. And from this software, I can, scale it up. Have a giant one if I want,
Oh, geez, wow.
and then print this guy.
So if you were to
This
print that, how large is that going to be?
that's 225 millimeters tall.
Okay,
So let's say what 25 centimeters.
okay,
Um, but you just run it, and there you go. Great thing about 3D printing now, just a quick little, because this is one of my favorite things to do. This will tell me how long it'll take. And right now we'll look at that. But I already printed him. He's right here. Now, all these little things around here, Claudio knows what that is. It's called support material. So if you ever see one, you just pull this stuff off like that. I won't pull all of it off just for time's sake, but
yeah. Which is what I did with the the horse, the Claudio cowboy.
This will
Yeah.
take me 11 and a half hours. Now, printers that are 4 years or older, that use older tech, this is a easily 3 day print, 33 to 36 hours or more. But I did want to remove some of this material just to show you guys the level of detail that you can get from that image. Come on, here we go. Sometimes this stuff can be really tough to pop off, but and so what I want to show you guys, I'm gonna go in on my camera
Wow. Yeah, that's
from one image. And the cool thing is, again, what can I do with an image? I can regenerate if I'm not happy with it, but the file types, Claudio, blend, FBX, and I think it's GLB. I can actually take this and put it in Blender and animate it. And
mhm.
I can request what's called the T-pose. So in T-pose over here, what that does, it puts them in that pose that you might have seen kids do before, like where they're like
Yeah.
this. That's the perfect starting point for animating in programs such as Blender, because they have something called rigging. So I have to actually insert a skeleton model into it so it knows what digits are, the fingers and all that. But guess where all that started from? Right here, an image. What can I do with
Yeah.
the image? I can start making video games. And guess what? I have a high level modeler working for me. My ideas are here. Maybe I sketch them out. I get my professional image done by Adobe Express. I drop it in there, and there you go. So
So,
I did something similar to yours. I mean, I was like, okay, let me show you what I can do. I have this image. Let me pull it up on my screen. So we did one where they did these plush pals at one of our elementary schools. So I went ahead and just recreated in 3D.
oh my gosh. Wow. So if you're watching this ever, so this is part of our Adobe in Adobe Express for EDU. We have challenges every month, and this was like one of the first few of the challenges, which is our guided activities is what we call them. And the guided activities is turn your like create your own plush doll, and it's basically a template in Adobe Express. So you took the template, and so
Isolated him first, and then isolated the background. And then I turned them into
so now we
models and then painted them by hand.
okay. So you painted those by hand. So pop, show us the image again. The image of the
The plush pal, here he is.
so that so that was done in Adobe Express. Again, we have a template for that, which is taking it, you add your own, you edit the prompt. Wow, like that's crazy. That's such a cool thing. It's taking something. Again, I think it adds another layer. Not so. I mean, it's complexity, obviously, but also giving students that option to like take something which I love video and I love creating objects turning to video, and then but you're taking it and we're taking and creating 3D models. So I have a question, and this is like we didn't unprepped question for you, Jesus, but just because I just started thinking like if I design something like in Firefly, so let me see if I can pull up one of my okay, let's see here. Where you're gonna see it like I have this a ton of stuff here. Let's see where I am. So I made a version of myself. Let's see, I think it's let's see,
If you email
it's
it to me right now, I'll
I think
drop
it's
it
this
in
one.
reply.
It's so I made myself into an action figure. This is me cycling. So can you take something like this and print it?
Yeah.
So take something like that. So the articulating them, because now what I'm thinking is I mean,
Ah, okay.
I use Firefly to create like stop motion and like take this,
So
but I
I do
want
have
like
an answer for
can
your
I
question.
take I want to actually make this and make a little model. I've seen stuff on social media where they do like the superheroes and stuff, but take myself and turn me in, and then I can go frame by frame. But taking something like this and
And
turning it into
so
3D.
this is kind of to answer a question that, how do I feel about AI? I'm not anti-AI. I think if we understand it really, um, we'll understand that it's actually a way for us to work faster. So you asked me, could I articulate it? I can take it and print as it is, but if I want to add moving parts, That's where okay, now I can't AI that, at least not yet. I have to learn how to do modeling either in Tinkercad or another one called Nomad. So this, I'm going to show it to you from the back first. It was white, but it was solid. I had to carve out the mouth, which you'll see right now was hard.
Yeah.
Then I painted it, and I always have kids ask me because I use brushes on some of this, so you can kind of tell the difference when you use traditional brushes or an airbrush. This is airbrushed.
Wow.
So I mean, I did the taping to protect it so it doesn't bleed through in color. I hit it with red, and then from far away, I hit it with some black to give it that shadowy look. But I had to do this manually, the holes, because I want somebody to be able to wear it. Um, so for yours, someone might say, well, I can just make it like that. I would tell students, you want to be worth 3 times as much, be able to do what this person's asking for. I go, so you have to learn modeling. So it's a way to kind of get the kids going, hey, you did that, but did you know if you learn this, you can do something else with it? And again, it's what can I do with an image? Look, if I have a laser cutter, this is called scoring. It does it a lot faster. Um, I think this keychain came out okay.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Check this one out. This is a special type of acrylic tile that we have for our laser cutters. Let me get my flashlight. That'll help more. Watch.
Oh, wow. Oh, so okay, this is again, this is the one this is still the dragon
The little
from
dragon.
the little dragon from Adobe Express that we made
Because it's
generate
an
the
SVG file that I converted into, and I mean, it has a shiny side. This
oh,
might be better. You could try to get some light. There you go.
oh
Look.
yeah.
You see the details. Now, maybe if I adjust the power, maybe carve in a little deeper, just 12 minutes on a laser cutter. Then
So
guess what? I tell kids, how much would you pay for this? What if I put your face on it? How much would you pay me? 20 bucks, let's say, 15 bucks. This, probably $1. And we
$1
get
per
that entrepreneurship thing going.
and that yeah, that's the getting the students that thinking that mindset, like career mindset in future, get starting it all off from 2D to and then taking it, creating either a printed model, which is a 2D flat,
Yeah.
3D models like this right here. That glass thing is that's wild. That's pretty amazing. Um, I mean, I did not know that that was even possible. But that's like
I forget that
that's
we
so
have some
cool.
stuff back there. That's not to
No, no,
sound
that's okay.
I forget. Oh, I forgot we have this back here.
So like a question thinking like thinking for 3D Jesus is and I think this was something I think I saw you share on social. So you and like taking something that was because I think you mentioned you take a photo using I think was it the Adobe Capture or something where you take a picture of something silhouette or something like that and bring it
Yes.
into Express and but like can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah.
Just a,
Yeah. So something that you can do, let's say this guy, you know what, I like him like that, but I don't want all this detail. I just want the outline. If I silhouette him, then I can get something more like the stars.
okay, so you share your screen.
Yeah. Let
Okay,
me
cool.
share my screen and I'll jump into Tinkercad and I'll show you some that I've done um, with silhouettes. So right now, let's see. Here we go. So we have our astronomy night event coming up. This bookmark right here, the planet was a silhouette, and I just converted it, drop it in here, and actually I have them here with me. No, I did not bring them with me. But really, if it, and you can turn it into a silhouette pretty easily. I think like you could even just use paint bucket and just drop black onto it, and it'll convert it. And then you get something that's a little easier to work with. So here's a little dragon. These are our kids' keychains. This one, same thing. It was a little panda that's peeking like that. And so what happens now is, okay, the tools are there. Anybody can do this. The creativity, that's really where the skill is. Because now with AI, if you told me, hey, I want to be able to make video games, okay. I think in about 3 days you can have like maybe a character running around. Kids would go, that's impossible. No, because you go here, and then what do you want to learn? Unreal, do you have access to a custom, video game engine? Are you going to use um, what is it? My son uses like three or four of them. You're gonna put it in Blender. It really just starts from there. And as I learn more about like if I have it looking like this, like as a silhouette, I can do these things. If I leave it full color, the original image, I can do these things. And there's some that work better with either one. I'm doing 6/7. I know. I'm already hearing
No,
it.
I didn't even catch
I do that
that.
a lot in class. I move my hands a lot, and so I hear it a lot. But what happens is there's so many, 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 many soft skills. How do I download a file? How does a computer really, really work? How does transferring it, like, how do I get it there faster? We use a USB or a thumb drive. What is that? I've had kids, what do you mean a thumb drive? Now they're doing something where, not that they have to, yeah, they have to, but they want to learn it because they're like, I want to make that thing. I've had kids see this and they're like, we can do that. I'm like, yeah. And we can paint it. I'm like, well, I need to order a lot of white filament, which we just ordered, I think, like 30 rolls. Um, but they can. And the kids saw this and they're like, where's the airbrush at? I go, I have in the office. And they look at their teacher. They're like, can you borrow it? Can you teach us? And the teacher's like, I guess I'm learning this, which is not a bad thing.
Yeah, that's
So,
so.
yeah,
If I would like you, because you mentioned like a silhouette. So like if I have a photo of like let's say student like a class photo, or maybe even like I'm thinking take like the old Michael Jordan jumping up in the air. Like if a student jumps up and does something like this, take a picture of them and create a silhouette. So I guess
yeah.
you can you walk us through like do the create turn this one into a silhouette, I guess, so people can see like if
Trying to see where's the effects at.
so actually I think if you use tones, go ahead and go down to tones and then go up and go to
Custom.
the custom. Yeah.
There it is. There it is. Let me undo what I did. Let me show you what we did. Okay. So I know I used to do that a lot. Like I would just go and just keep going and going. Let me go
No,
ahead
no,
and go
that's
back.
right. That's good.
So when you click on your image, you'll see the tools change. Watch, I'm gonna click off. And then when I click, I have these. I want to go down to, was it adjust? No, I just lost it. I'm so
No worries. Oh, effects.
effects.
And go to
Uh,
the top.
there it is, right here. Sorry, click effects. And then go down to tones and click view all, and you'll see a custom option. And then just change this to black. And then you just take a screenshot of this or download it, which right now I'm going to
So
download
let's
it.
do that. So before you download Jesus, does this one have to have no background either, or does it matter?
No, it just needs to give me 1 second.
Because we can download it without. For those who don't know, you can download a PNG without a background already to have. If
Yeah,
you're saying
no, no. But to convert it to where you can make it like a keychain or for like say laser cutting to convert it to an SVG, you don't need to remove the background.
okay, cool. Okay,
You'll be able to see a preview. So if it picks up some kind of distortion or all that, then you'll see it and then you can play around with it. And then
gotcha.
Jacob, can you stop my screen sharing for a second real quick? Thank you. And then let me just drop it
Shout out
in.
to our producer Jacob.
Thank you. And then, okay, you can go to screen share already. Thank you, Jacob. And again, you can find SVG converters online. And so all I did is I took this, converted it. I'm going to import it. And then I like to change the size here so it, will come in a little faster because if not, it's going to be huge.
Oh, I got you.
And then, like, I don't even have to add anything to the bottom of it. I can probably just drop in this thing. I'll put this right here. There you go. And now I have a keychain set. There you go.
That's
And we're
pretty
done.
cool. So we've got So we've got several. Everyone, if you watch, okay, let's go through the different iterations. And did you print this out, Jesus? I don't remember if you did or not. You don't have this one printed.
No, I did
Okay.
one differently, but yeah, I had converted the actual color
Okay.
image. So you'll see that there's a little bit more details. Sometimes the image will work really well, but if not, you just convert it to a silhouette and you can have something like what's on the screen right now.
So we've got, okay, this is go to the, keep that open, but go to the Express where you generated the image. Because like what we're gonna go through like all of the, okay. So we'll probably have to undo it so we can see the okay. So everyone, wait, if you just joined, so we went from generating an image and we had downloaded it. We took it into an app to do this the 3D sticker printer. Okay, so show us the stickers because you have the stickers.
So yeah, any image. And guess what? You can turn it into a silhouette if you wanted to. And so you can make stickers. You can make a giant one.
So we got
Uh,
the stickers. We got the little stickers,
yeah.
2D, and then you also took it and used like the meshing software and then 3D printed it. You know, we didn't want everybody to sit here and watch us do 3D printing because it would take us days. Made a 3D printed version, like fully three-dimensional, starting from the scratch right there. And then the next thing you did is just made it like a the silhouette so that we can create it as a keychain, which you kind of modeled the thing. So yeah, so all of it starting from like a two-dimensional. Oh, and then oh god, and then using something like that. We didn't talk about like
Kind of looks like those 3D images from when we were kids that you would look at,
holograms, the
and it looks like
holograms.
they're looking at you. They're like a hologram.
Yeah.
You can use wood also.
Okay, so you've got the laser cutter. Is that what you use for the glass thing, or is
Yeah,
laser
yeah.
cutter?
And the
We
cool
got
thing is the way it works is the back has like this very, very thin like silicone or like
looks
rubber
like a
cover,
mirror
and then
reflection
it
kind of.
burns it off, and that's what creates that effect. Look.
Got it. So we got that, and then we've got the 3D printed version of this. So it's like think of the possibilities for all of your students um to be able to start again
Guess what a
taking stuff.
teacher did?
Yeah,
It's stop motion animation.
yeah,
The kids came up with prompts, generated images. I printed little characters, and they're making a stop motion film that nobody else can make because it's their own
there's no.
models that they made.
That's awesome. So like all the different possibilities, all getting started from the imagination, getting it onto like using something like Firefly to create a like the claymation ones that I made,
Yeah.
where we got this from, the claymation using Firefly within Adobe Express to generate this image. We did the penguin one and you also printed that penguin one really quickly while we were talking about it. Yeah, the 3D, I'm sorry, getting a sticker. It's taking something digital, having hands-on, having tactile, because I think that's also really good for a lot of students being able to, have something tangible, something to be able to touch and to be able to see, like this is something that I made that I'm proud of. And also talking about like the entrepreneurial spirit for students, giving them that agency to like, bang, a lot of them might be able to start some of their own business. And I tell you what, because not everybody is going to want to set up a 3D printer, has a laser cutter, but it's like, I mean, for literally like we can start have a lot of students creating little side hustle businesses and designing logos for their teachers, getting them 3D printed, getting stickers created. I mean, gosh, so
And
much.
I love sharing what things cost because I mean I started off I would sometimes have to buy a lot of stuff, especially when I was at a couple different districts. Here where
Yeah,
I'm at now, I mean look, I mean it's ridiculous what I have access to. I'm not gonna lie,
that's
and
amazing.
I'm very lucky. That's why I love to share this stuff. I love to help. So if anybody out there is listening and they're like, hey, can I reach out to you? I don't know if you mind me saying that, Chloe. You guys
Yeah.
can
No,
definitely
yeah,
reach.
absolutely, absolutely.
Tyler knows
Yeah,
how I am.
yeah. No, Mr. Huerta's class. You can find him on Mr. Huerta's class on. So, we're getting hey everyone, we're getting close to wrap up, but like keeping it practical. So like t some tips to share with you all. Like get start with design. Don't worry about the printing piece first. Like sketch. I mean, I still sketch. I still have paper and pencil and pen, and I love to sketch. Start with designs. Use Adobe Express to get your ideas, generate the images based on what you create. Firefly to explore it, and giving the students the ability. Jesus, like maybe they can design like their mascots, trophies, jewelry for events, prom. I think
We want kids to go to the theater and we don't want plays to die and opera. Guess what they can do? They can generate their own masks.
and get to generate mass for the
Get a
play. I mean,
script.
yeah, for the theater students. I mean, like the students maybe like are not inclined to be the actor or in front. They can be like
Costume designer.
set design and costume design. Jesus, if you were going to give teacher advice, like how to get started for the very first time, what would you tell them?
I would say the number one thing is ask for help. When I first learned 3D printing, it took me 6 months. Guess who I asked for help? Nobody, because I was stubborn and not being smart.
Hmm.
If you're like, okay, I was able to create my account in Adobe Express and I generated an image, but I forgot the next step. Don't go, oh well, go, you know what? Let me go to the Adobe, EDU website or their Instagram. Okay, who can I message? Let me ask the question here. Okay, somebody will find you
Yeah, yeah,
and we'll help you. That's what teachers do. We help each other because we
yeah.
know, if we can add another tool to our tool belt, it helps.
Awesome.
Jacob, can you share my screen real quick? While Claudia was talking, here's our penguin
Oh,
friend.
he made the little penguin. That's
Because,
awesome.
because I love
That,
3D print so much, Claudio. Look, you see the little octopus?
yeah.
This was blowing the kids' minds yesterday at career day. Look how small we
Oh my
can be.
gosh.
There he
Jeez,
is with yeah. And
wow.
so it
That's
just blows kids' minds and adults' parents.
awesome. Man, yeah, there's a lot of it. It's just there's a lot of excitement in the chat about it. Like maybe people like this is the first time seeing like 3D printing and like being able to like I don't know I can use Adobe Express to do the artwork of the initial designs and then taking it a step further, creating laser cutting, three stickers or 3D printing. So thank you everyone for watching. I know we're gone a little bit over time here, Jesus, but Jesus, thank you so much for sharing
Thank
your
you.
expertise and also for like I bought a 3D printer because of you. Like I started 3D printing because of you, and actually and then I kind of left it, but I want to get back into it and you know, get better at the 3D printing because there's a lot of
And
useful
just
tools.
real
I actually,
quickly, I mean, I know we're kind of short, but I mean we're getting kind of close. Printers that do this, like two color, they're less than $500, guys. Or if you want it with a single roll, 300, and it's basically like a microwave. You
yeah,
send it and it just works.
and I think a lot of schools that have like the like scholarships, or I'm trying to think the PTA plan, they have these scholarships you can apply or grants and stuff like that. So this is a
Yeah.
great opportunity. Everyone, thank you. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next session. And speaking of the next session, we'll be back in a week and it's going to be joined by my colleagues Jesse Lubinsky and Max Shooting. We're going to be talking about generating activities in Adobe Express. Thank you everyone for catching today. We appreciate you and we hope you have a great rest of your day. And just keep being creative, keep designing, and have fun. Bye
All right, you guys.
everyone.